Hey, what's up everyone? Danny Linen back with another CSR2 video. Today we are checking out the Aston Martin DB12 Volante. We just got this car. We're going to do a stage 5 maxed out shift and tune, stage 6 maxed out shift and tune. I think what I just said there didn't make much sense. We're going to find out if it's got a live racing setup, and we're going to do a review on the car as well. I'm recording on the content account today, so thank you to Nitro for CSR to access to that. This account allows me to make videos like this for you guys. So let's go do it to it. We are going to start off with the maxed out shift and tune on this car. So when this car is 100% maxed out with all the fusions, put your nitrous all the way to the right. Put your final drive on 2.0 and put your tire pressure on 8 psi. That's going to give us a dyno time of 7.443 when the car is 100% maxed out. So let's go shift it and drive it and all that good stuff. Alright, so what we want to do is let go of the gas, kind of get that needle to kick back. As soon as it kicks back, shortly after, second nitrous, and this car is a pain in the butt to drive. I don't like the cars that get the kickback generally, but let's give this a go. 3, 2, 1, go. Second nitrous, third, fourth, fifth, 6th, 7th, 8th, and that's all she wrote right there. That should be a pretty good run. Most of the shifts were right before the red line, so I would assume that would be a pretty good one. Then we got a 7.442, so we keep getting in the low 7.4s. And yeah, that's how you drive this one when it's maxed out on stage 6. Alright, now we have the car fit back to stage 5 parts only. We're going to do a stage 5 shift and tune, and it looks like this is one of those cars that's probably not very tunable, at least on stage 5 or stage 6, because the tune is going to stay exactly the same. Nitrous all the way to the right. Final drive 2.0 and tires on 8 psi. That's going to give us a 8.708 on stage 5 dyno time. But first, if you like really awesome things, I'll tag the microphone that I'm currently using, the amazing SE Electronics 4100, the SE Electronics V7, plus a camera and some lighting that I use to make my videos. I will tag all of that directly to the video, plus in the description you'll find a link to some really awesome stuff on Amazon where you can. So it looks like we're going to drive the car the same way on stage 5, let go of the gas just a little bit after number 1, needle kicks back, second nitrous, all the rest of the shifts right before the red line, just like this. Oop, gotta click on it first. 3, 2, 1, go. Second nitrous, third, fourth, fifth, 6th gear, 7th gear, 8th gear, 12th gear, 947th gear. And that's all she wrote. We got a, let's find out what we get. We got a 8.668, so it is beating the dyno by a little bit on stage 5, which is nice. Not a huge dyno beater, but you can get it to beat the dyno by a little bit, at least on stage 5. Now we're going to see if we can find a low performance point high evo setup for this car, and these are usually good for live racing and sometimes beating the dyno, so let's go see if we got one. And it looks like we got some pretty decent numbers on this, 630 on the performance points and 1671 on the evo, so that's getting close to 3 times the evo's performance points. This doesn't require any stage 6 parts, and we only have to throw a couple of upgrades on it. So basically we always start with the engine, so we are going to throw our engine on stock, right there, turbo stock, intake stock, nitrous stage 2, or you can go with stage 3 if you want, body stock, tire stage 3, transmission stage 5. Alright, stage 5 transmission. And the parts that are stock, you don't need to put fusions in those for the live racing setup, but let's just say you have a stage 4 transmission, then you need stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, because we have a stage 5 transmission on this one to be filled with the fusions. So only the parts in use need to be filled with fusions for this setup right here. And we're going to go ahead and tune it a lot like this. Just like this, just like this. Nitrous all the way to the right. Final drive 3.76 and 8 psi on the tires. That's going to put us right in the 11.8 lobby. It's a little bit slower than the level 11. It's a little bit slower than 11.8, so we want to make sure we run this car at 11.8 or a little bit slower. We don't want to run faster than 11.8. I might need to retake this part over. Now, if you put your nitrous on stage 3 instead of stage 2, you can probably tune it to get it right at 11.8, which might be a better option, but as long as you're running right about 11.8, it should stay in the 11.8 lobby. We do not want to run the car faster than 11.8 if we're live racing it. Now, the question is, are we going to be able to hit 11.8? And if we can, then the car should be pretty darn nice for live racing. And normally we just do a very standard shift pattern and that's it. But on this car, it's going to shift into second gear so fast, you're going to want to launch second nitrous and then all the shifts right before the red line. 3, 2, 1, go. Second nitrous, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It does shift kind of fast, so it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to drive. You might actually want to try and put that nitrous on 3 instead of 2. But we're running right in the 11.8s. We can probably change things around a little bit and get better times on this one, but this is basically how you do it. The last run was 11.814. That was 11.842, so numbers are not exactly satisfactory with this, so let's try and change something around. How about we do this? Put your body on stage 5 and your nitrous on stage 3. So we made 2 changes right there, and that really boosted up the numbers up to over 1800. Now when we tune it again, it's probably going to get even better numbers, and this will probably do better. Alright, so now we're retuned it. We got 1766 Evo. So put your nitrous all the way to the right. Final drive at 2.28 and 8 PSI. That gives us 11.197. So that's basically going to put us in the 11.2 lobby. And we can run faster than 11.2 if we want to. So this will be a better setup for this car. Now, if you move the final drive over, you can always go to 11.4, 11.6, 11.8. You know, every 0.2 of a second. So you wanna be right at 11.0, 11.2, 11.4. You always want to be at the fastest part of the lobby right there, or just a little bit faster. But we're roughly at 11.2 right now. Hopefully that makes sense and isn't confusing. But the lobbies are basically every 0.2 of a second. So you want to be at the fastest part of that lobby. You can do a basic shift pattern, or you can shift into second early, just like this. So 3, 2, 1, go. Second nitrous. You don't necessarily have to shift into second early, but I think it works pretty well on this car. And we're not going to go ahead and shift into fifth. Look, Mom, no hands. There we go. And we should be running in the 11.1s, which is faster than the 11.2s. So this car should actually do pretty well for live racing with this setup right here. Of course, you don't want to run faster than 11.2 because we want to stay in the 11.2 lobby, so you might need to slow it down a couple of times before crossing the finish line. So anyways, there's our live racing setup. Now it's time to review this bad boy, so let's go talk about this car and if it's any good. Alright, so this car is going to be doing about a 0 to 60 in 0.8, 0 to 100 in about 1.5, so the acceleration is pretty nice. Right, it's got a top speed of 448 miles per hour, so the top speed is really good, and it's running in the low 7.4. So not a bad car overall. It does have some ways to set it up to do well for live racing on the low performance point high Evo setup. So there are better cars in the game than this one, but this one is really not that bad, and I think I did a bad job of making myself bigger on each word, but you guys got the idea. I tried. So this car is actually pretty decent. I mean, there are better tier 5 cars in the game, but if you don't already have a good tier 5 car, Aston Martin parts are pretty easy to get for the most part. The car performs pretty well. I mean, it runs decent times on stage 5, stage 6. I mean, it's not the fastest car in the world. There are going to be better live racers, but this car does pretty nice. I mean, it's not a bad car. I would give it about a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. You know, like 10 is a car that's just 100% amazing and excellent, but this one's a little bit below that, but it's not a bad car. It's pretty decent. I like it. I like the car. I think it's worth upgrading if you don't already have a good tier 5 car. I truly believe in don't upgrade something if you don't need it, because, you know, if you try and upgrade every single car you get, you're always going to be broke and out of game cash. So resource management is very important on this game. But This is a nice little car, right? If you somehow pull this out of a crate, or you just got it as a milestone prize car and you don't already have a good tier 5 car, it's totally worth upgrading. Not a bad car. I like it. Don't love it, but I like it. All right, I think I just repeated myself. But anyways, yeah, there we go. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you drop down the video's description or the pinned comment, you'll see some ways to help support the channel, some links to some news and info that you might want to check out. Huge extra shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys so much for the extra support. It really helps out big time. If you want to become a channel member, simply click the little join button right below the video. And I really just want to say this right here. Kick it off, other Danny Lightning. Thanks for watching my video. I hate to say, but it's time to go. Maybe you can watch another one. That might be really fun. Thanks for watching my video.